Whoa, 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 whoa. Nick, you're meaning to tell me you're about to do a video that's not based on a comment that someone left? You're actually creating original content to do a video? Yeah, yeah. Here's what I want to say in this video. I think that one of the irrational fears that men have about hair loss, especially if you're younger, but I think this covers all ages. I think that there is a fear that a man will be left out of society, that he will be abandoned by society or even by the people who love him most if he loses his hair. I think that that's a fear that men have, and they don't talk about it, because what do men do with their emotions for the most part? For the most part, they keep them inside, right? Because it's feminine to always be talking about your emotions, right? But it's masculine to just not talk about it, which is why I have nearly 2,600 subscribers now, because this is a safe place where we can talk about how we feel about hair loss without needing to judge each other. Because men who judge each other for their hair loss or how they feel about hair loss, they're the ones who are insecure. And I've said that in a video recently. Men who criticize each other for either hair loss or for discussing how they feel about hair loss by discussing that insecurity, those are the men themselves who are insecure, the ones who criticize. Okay? Keep that in mind. So when you look at the comments in my videos and you see someone who's trying to put somebody down, they are the insecure person. And they're making it very obvious because I'm smarter than they are. Okay? With this being said, is there a part of you that fears that you are going to be alone, that you're going to be left out, abandoned, either by all of society or by the parts of society that are relevant to you, or even by your loved ones, your close ones? People will abandon you if your hair abandons you. Is that an irrational fear that you have? I think a lot of men have it. I think a lot of men have it. I don't anymore. And that's how I'm able to confidently talk about it, because I've been through that. I think it's a struggle that men go through when they first start realizing they're going to be going bald. Of course, for me, fortunately, my wife has made it very obvious she doesn't care about my hair as long as it's not long. She hates long hair. So, hey, that kind of works out, because by the time I reached 30, I was already getting Norwood 3, and long hair I don't think look as good once you get Norwood 3. And it's only to reinforce that my wife, as I go bald, she doesn't care. She just wants me to make it look nice and neat. So shave it off, you know. And I think my wife, I'm bringing her up because I think that she is an important part of this journey, because she represents most women when it comes to hair loss, that ultimately they could care less about your hair. They care that you're a provider, that you're entertaining and funny, that you're skilled, that you're kind and helpful, that you're dedicated. That's what society, not just my wife or anyone else's wife, wants. That's what society wants out of men. And when they look for a masculine figure, a masculine man, a manly man, that's what they're actually looking for. They're not looking for hair. I've already said that balding is a masculine trait, not a feminine trait, right? So, are you going to be alone if you lose your hair? Think of it this way. I want to give you this illustration. When I was in college, I was in I had to go through this like history, art, literature class. I don't know. And by the way, the guy was bald. He was like completely bald on top, and he was in his 40s, which isn't pertinent to what he said. But he said the difference between a comedy and a tragedy is this. In a tragedy, you have someone who is part of society, and by the end, they get thrown out or removed from their society. That's a tragedy. A comedy is when someone is already on the outside, and by the end of the movie or the book or whatever it is, they get accepted as part of the community and part of the society. Okay? So you can obviously see if a man loses his hair and becomes irrelevant to his society and is removed, that would be a tragedy. If that were the case, if that's what really happened. But at least here in America, that's not how it is. Here's what happens instead. Okay? Man is part of society. He's starting to go bald young. What does he do? He does something to either stop it, or he accepts it and finishes the job and just shaves or buzzes it off. And not only is he still part of society, he's probably even more relevant of society because he is embracing his confidence despite his hair. So as far as fearing being alone, think of this too. Think of how many men lose their hair. Think of how common that is. So if anything, I would venture to say, welcome to the club is what I'd venture to say. If you're losing your hair, you're one of us now. Us men with all the testosterone and the DHT. You're one of us. You always have been. It's just now being revealed to you. You're one of us. You belong here. And let's face it, that is one of the themes of my channel. You belong here. This is where we can talk about insecurities, we can talk about hair loss, we can have open discussions, and the morons who criticize people on this channel are not welcome here because they're insecure and they're unwilling to let their guard down enough to become one of us. But here's some good news. You're not a moron. I like you and I want you here and you belong here. If you subscribe to this channel, the reason you're doing that is because you want to be a part of the coolest men's hair loss group on YouTube. We are a support group. You belong here unless you're a moron. And if you're a moron that's going to be criticizing people all the time, you don't belong here. You're too insecure to last. I'm looking for guys who are maybe dealing with losing hair, but are secure enough to say, you know what, I want to overcome this. I'm not going to be criticizing people. I'm going to be complimenting people, and I want to be a part of this movement. I see what Nick's got going on. He's passionate about this, and he's got over, 2,600 subscribers that feel the same way, it looks like. He must be doing something right, and those subscribers must feel included as a part of this group. I now invite you to join the group unless you're a moron. If you're a moron, go watch like Disney Kids show or something.